Oh, yes, indeed. We are back. Second here, we are back. Smash the like button. Don't forget to smash the like button. All my die-hard Game of Thrones supporters here. House of the Dragon. We are back. Let's go ahead to talk some Game of Thrones there. And first and foremost, what we are going to do is, as always, we'll sit back here and go over the previews of today's episode. Um, yeah, I've been looking forward to this one since seeing the last, and my opinions about House of the Dragon. All right, just to be keep it all the way a bean with you is that it was a good idea. Now, as I see here, to withhold that episode until the first episode of season 3 because it responds in a manner that says that, you know what, be prepared for a battle, be prepared for a fight. This is gonna get ugly. All right. No, hold on to your hats, man. Every episode, you're going to be seeing people get put to the sword, heads get chopped off, characters that you've watched for the last 2 seasons who have thoroughly had a role in front of you just quickly disappear here, Halls, and others will be able to play the game in the terms of longevity. All right. Yes, indeed. But even those people, all right, as I told you, that we read the context of this on YouTube or what have you, spoiler, what have you. I am going to be telling the ending. All right. All right, for your cases, are you listening to these other channels? What I will continue to do, at least to balance some of the viewers out for memory's sake here, is I'll be at least guiding people on the direction of where the program is going at next, what to look for, what current events there were in the book here that they may have switched on the TV show. All right, that's what we'll be leveling out. All right, just to give us a medium basis to, all right, how we're going to be talking about House of the Dragons. And I want to say good morning and good afternoon to everyone. All right, or good evening, depending on where you're at in the world. All right, thank you and much love. All right, appreciate it. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to share this video and, of course, subscribe to the platform. All right, yeah, we're talking Game of Thrones here. All right, or House of the Dragon, of course. All right, a Game of Thrones edition. All right. This season started off the way that it did because it's supposed to start off with a bang. All right. It's supposed to be blood. There's supposed to be people being thrown in dungeons, hangings. All right. Dragons getting killed. All right. Ships, as you've seen already. All right. Battle of the Gauntlet was one of the most bloodiest and gruesome damn battles that they had out of all of those fights. That's why it was important. Not only that they got the fans, they got your for the reader's case, they got your mouth ready. All right. Yeah, through the whole episode. All right. You knew it was going to go down because you seen the previews. All right. Even all the way down to the point of we say Sir Loras sitting back there with Adam of Hall, I believe. All right. And sitting down with him and having a drink and discussing his mother. All right. No, all these were deep and intense moments here. All right. And as that lady said here, and she was talking about sacking his home because in the cases of, in the cases of Sir Laura in the original story, that those scenes are a lot more longer to be played out. All right. They sack a good part of town over there. All right. Yes, they do here. All right. His home is one of those things. So he loses everything, all his riches, all his treasures, all the shit that he's kind of picked up on those 9 voyages is gone. All right. They've effectively burnt that down to ashes. They've stolen, at least, looted what they needed to. All right. Took the slaves they wanted to. All right. And burnt the rest down. This is what usually happens in the cases. You're talking about war. All right. But I want to see the previews here with the good people here. I want y'all guys to see that, man. This is what I'm here for. All right. Part of it.
Jace, what have you done? What have you done? How could you?
Will you let him die in vain? Rhaenyra is weak, unsuited to rule. You will have justice.
I will never have justice. Not what crumbs of it may be snatched. I will devour.
We'll fight on our own terms.
And it's showing you, all right, in these steps from every political move Rhaenyra did, all right, when getting all the way up to her getting ready to be there in King's Landing with decent moves. All right. Like if she had dragon seeds that were sworn, all right, like she had for that guard there, that person would be safer for her to take to war. You taking commoners, that's why I say that's a bad idea even for the story's sake, because you don't know if that individual controlling one of the largest dragons is gonna listen to you. All right. And we'll get to that in a minute. All right. But to make a move like that, dude, with folks that haven't already sworn something to the crown, all right, yeah, you rolling the dice. All right. I don't care what type of relationship that you think you want with this person. You must first see truly what their agenda is. What do they want? All right. You sitting in here, and this is so disrespectful, dude. All right. You think about it. Even for the drunk, he understood. That's what he is for that one dude. All right. But they're sitting on a rock, man. All right. Waiting for Aemon's dragon so they can ambush him. All right. But as he's sitting there talking to Sir Loras, his other son, all right, the one that has a dragon, was able to claim a dragon. He was like, yeah, man, we go to do this, and then I'll have a castle. All right. He said, you don't get a castle, something, you're a knight. He said, so what do I get? Oh, you get a horse. He was like, what do I need with a horse when I got this big ass dragon right here? All right. He said, you're a man of honor and people will show you respect. All right. Right. For being a knight. All right. He was like, he said, people will show me respect because of he's drunk as hell right now as he's talking. All right. He said, people will show me respect because of the big ass dragon I got right here. All right. So even in his state, he's thinking, no, I'm going to, with this dragon, I'm taking a castle. All right. That's already in his mind. All right. How you going to control something? You're so worried in this case about Vhagar. All right. And Aemon. All right. That you're not understanding that you can't make a deal with folks that you don't know, that have no interest in anything you doing other than their own personal cause. All right. That's it. Now, if I know it's a knight and they're sworn to the queen, like that other dude that was burnt up, all right, well, his life is he's already sworn to protect you. All right. So his weapon, in fact, like Sir Arthur Dane, is your weapon. All right. No, the son of the morning. Excuse me. All right. Yes, indeed. Sir Arthur Dane. He said the baddest swordsman alive. All right. And I do want to say this. Ned Stark got his ass whooped. Him and all the rest of them niggas got their ass whooped. All right. He was vicious. 2 swords, nigga. All right. Come line your little dumb ass up, dude. Come get lined up. All right. We said, sir, whatever Hightower was first. Well, at least he thought he chopped him down first. All right. No, you couldn't beat him unless you stabbed him in the back, dude. All right. Yeah, they said that man's honor was so impeccable, dude. All right, Sir Arthur Dane, that when he fought the Smiling Knight had like a jagged blade, dude. It was raggedy. All right, compared to what he had. So since he was besting him and kicking his ass so bad, all right, yeah, he let him get a fresh blade. All right, stopped all the proceeds. Hey, here you go, yo. All right, and then he killed him. All right, then he put his ass down. That's how bad Sir Arthur Dane was, man. All right, yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. And his house was a Dornish house. All right, just to be clear. They show y'all that Game of Thrones shit. Them Donner's jokers can fight, man. You seen what happened to the mountain, nigga. All right. Yeah, he killed the nigga at the end. Physical strength and the cases of what's natural here on the planet for something big to get something small in its prey. All right, yeah. There, that little irritant is gonna die, dude. All right. Yeah, especially if that big joker here already knows it's gonna die anyway. All right, you done got stabbed in your chest, everything. All right, as far as Sir Gregor Clegane was concerned here. All right, not Sir Gregor Clegane. The mountain was concerned. All right, when he got hit by that blade already, that stuff was known to poison you. All right, so you were going. All right, you better think. He said, you better thank the Most High that Qyburn was in there. All right, and he spent time working on sick people, I guess, that were ready to die here. All right, or homeless old people. All right, yeah, shit, man. You think Qyburn was one of them jokers. All right, they said they removed his chains from the Citadel. All right, because of them shady ass crimes he was doing, like working on the, all right, doing surgery on ill people, opening folks up, the homeless people. All right, experimenting. All right, yeah. So you remember, for the story's sake, Cersei, as he told you, she replaced his change. He was a northern man, or from the Riverlands, I believe. He was from that house over there. I want to say though. Now I don't want to say the Mongols or the Mongols, but whatever house it was. All right, the mountain and the Lannisters, they came in there and ransacked that house, and he was one. And on the show, he's one of the few people that survived. Everybody else is just a bunch of dead bodies when they arrive. All right. Yes, indeed. Qyburn's one of the only people alive. It's when Robb Stark and Bruce Bolton arrived. All right. You got to understand the cases from that story, even down to Ross, which she ended up getting killed by Jeffrey. All right. Remember, she was working in a brothel for Littlefinger. All right. She originally was working in the North. All right. Yeah, that's how Theon Greyjoy knew her anyway. And what's the imp? God damn it. All right, right, man. A lot of them have long spread histories, and they've been from the north to the south. You'll go ahead to look at some parts of their damn story. All right. Yes, indeed, man. No, just for me collecting information over these damn times. All right. When you're a nerd and you're a fan, you're gonna look that far into shit. All right. But going back in here to Rhaenyra, we'll go back in here to her. They're kind of giving you this Daenerys Targaryen vibe of when she turned in like season 8 or so. All right, because I told you the similarities with that is the fact that you're not being fair enough again to give us 10 episodes. So now you're having to go ahead to take this beautiful story here. All right, which can be drawn out a lot better if you gave it a little bit more time, baby. All right, added some emphasis, gave these characters time to grow on individuals, dude. All right, and get some background. The story has enough for you to do that. All right, but when you're sitting here trying to manage resources, all right, spending the most money you ever have on one damn episode. All right, yeah, that Battle with a Gutlet cost them millions of dollars to make that episode, dude. All right. Yeah, they went heavy. They consistently at least spoke about that coming in. This is why I said the first episode is usually the energy of everything. All right. Yes. Shit. You ain't gonna stop seeing folks get put down. All right. And dragons get put down. And I'm like some of y'all here too. I'm waiting to see the goddamn what the hell is it? The cannibal nigga. All right. I'm waiting to see him. All right, damn the bullshit. All right, that's who I'm waiting to see, and it's already in a couple of dead dragons. All right, so he's supposed to have the description of a scavenger. All right, yeah, he doesn't necessarily. Somebody said it's alleged that he killed another dragon and ate them. All right, but nothing in the story is confirmed about that. All right, what's confirmed is that the cannibal is a scavenger and nobody can claim him, And he can't distinguish between dragon and human and nothing. All right. You ain't going to go claim him. Anybody who has tried, nigga, all right, has been never to be seen again. All right. Yes. All right. Those are the circumstances. Nobody has came to try to claim, all right, the cannibal and not be disposed of. All right. That's what his reputation is there for. He's supposed to be big and black with green eyes. And all right, this is how the story describes it. But they've had to change a lot of stuff, just as the Targaryens are supposed to have some type of like purple like eyes, dude. All right, like a light purple. All right, that's how their pupils or eyes are supposed to be. But they said even to the cases of making the story, dude, people putting context on and taking them out, like it's just too much shit, man. All right, on top of the costumes and everything else you got to wear. All right, hold on here. All right, fair use.
We'll fight on our own terms. My purpose is to restore the rightful line to the Iron Throne.
Rhaenyra is no queen. A new dawn is coming, and she'll certainly fail.
Every one of my miseries is of his making, and I swear I'm going to find him and fucking kill him.
I am my father's heir.
This is the moment you become queen.
The patient hunter gets the kill.
And you're seeing two of the biggest threats that's right there, I believe. Two of the biggest threats there. Number one, all right, that's our good counsel that we see here. They keep showing him. All right. No, he ain't nothing to play with. All right. That's what he shows you. It was a man that came up stinking. All right. No, he smelled horrible. All right. Yeah, he said something about pissing shit as the guy was walking out. All right. I'm talking about he's talking about yeah, he handed him a damn letter or something. He said something, he read it, and he was like, very well. Get the lad, get the lad bathed and fed, and get him a good tent. All right, get him bathed and fed. I'm talking about he had 1,000 flies on him, nigga. All right, he looked dirty, passing the note over. All right, he had to take whatever that smelling salt is. The other guy had to hand it to him. All right, like, damn, dude. All right, did you shit yourself getting here? All right, no, get the lad, babe. Get him bathed and fed, nigga. All right, yes, indeed, in a good tent. That's how they introduced his character. All right. Yeah, he's coming out there. You see the army set up, all goddamn, everybody's all right, militant in line, perfectly organized. All right. He's coming straight down the middle here with you see him. The guy in the green is Daron Targaryen. That the one with the red hair. You see, he wasn't speaking there, but he was sent there to O Town so that he can learn from this individual here. All right. Yes, indeed. So as far as the political matter, all right, he would be right there. All right. And as far as to listen to instruction and what's been given in order, you know, to sharpen him up, something similar to how Jon Snow had that little boy. All right. Yeah. When he was first wearing the black Ollie. All right. Yeah. Before he went to turn on him with his little suck ass. Now, some people from the poetic justice side of these different courses of the book, depending on how you look at it with Ollie, I understand his whole damn family was killed. I can't necessarily say that. I'll take that back. All right. Damn wildlings. All right. And now you prepared to give him some land and all of these spots here where my people used to live at. All right. No, the one you riding with to going in to pick the rest of them niggas up with led the raid on my village. All right. Now, when you see it from that stance, him turning on Jon Snow to stab his ass don't seem that damn horrible, does it? All right. Yeah, he needed some point of vengeance. All right. Yeah, at this point, these jokers are already past the wall. All right. Yes, this is why old boy was able to dip off. All right. Whatchamacallit had looked at him real quick, Sir Onion Knight, and said, "You're not the only ones who owe your lives to Jon Snow." All right. No, if you're a smart person, you understand what that means. All right. That's why he was like, "Lock the door. I'll be right back. Don't let anybody in." All right. Right. And he ran to go get the damn wildlings. All right. Yeah. Shit. All right. And this is how they were able to take Sir Alistair and the rest of them clowns. All right. And snatch him up here, dude, for committing treason. All right. Yeah, that's what it was. All right. Shit. But like I said here, for excuse me, for the courses of Allie, I understand, dude. Even Jon Snow did as he looked at him. All right. But he still followed duty. All right. He understood. All right. And if the young man would have asked for his life, he probably would have gave it to him. All right. Because he had the most understandable circumstances out of any man there for the reason why they betrayed him. All right. No, Sir Alistair never liked him. He was mad he couldn't. You got this young buck who's coming in here after I didn't sacrifice decades of my life. And now he's my boss until I die, nigga. All right. Right. I planned on being his boss and setting him up some way where I can hang him. All right. Right. You gotta understand. No, Sir Alistair is a little dirty ass bastard here, Halls, who tried to get that done when excuse me, when the Lord Commander, the original one, was there here. All right. Mormon. All right. And what Mormon did, what he did after Ned Stark had been beheaded and all of this shit, all right, is he sent Sir Alistair to King's Landing with the leg or whatever foot or whatever this stuff was, all right, from the Beyond the Wall. All right. Right. Remember, somebody came back alive, dude. All right. One of them White Walkers. All right. And because Jon Snow had came in there and saved his life, he had given him Longclaw. All right. Which was a Valerian sword. All right. Yes, indeed. It was supposed to go to his son, Jorah Mormon. All right. Which y'all know that was Rhaenyra's her first piece of protection she ever had throughout the show. He was there from day one, but his original days was being a spy for Varys. All right. And then he eventually, when them dragons got born and all that shit started happening, he became a true believer. All right. So then he stopped snitching on her. All right. No, Tywin was able to use this to his advantage. All right. Yeah, he needed to bring some division over there. So once they started to get real strong, all right, he went to go send that pardon over there. All right, to make sure it got into Sir Barristan's hand, because Sir Barristan is one of the most trusted folks there in the kingdom. All right. No, his word, all right, no, is gold around there, even down to the point of Ned Stark handing Robert's note to him. All right. He said, these are the king's words. All right. Right. Yeah, he's known to go ahead and honor his oaths. That's important because when he gets that note from the little boy or what have you, all right, he pulls Sir Jorah Mormon to the side. All right. He said, I just wanted to show you this real quick, other than to go behind your back about it. All right. He's like, I appreciate that. He said, can I have a moment alone with the queen? He was like, you'll never be alone with her again in your life. All right. Yeah. All right. No, we cool. All right. I ain't no backstabbing nigga. All right. But in the same sense, dude. All right. If you ever come near this woman, I will chop you down, nigga. All right. You ain't right. All right. You got to understand that poison that Rhaenyra was getting ready to drink. All right. Excuse me. Old boy stopped this shit from happening, Mormon, because he knew it was going to happen. He was supposed to get his pardon back then. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. Hold on 1 second here. All right. But this is Darren's counsel for the Targaryens you see right here. All right, I know I'm going back into the original Game of Thrones a lot, man, but I can't help it here. All right, the histories are so much alike. Even for this case is up looking at House of the Dragon and you watching Dragonstone and you're seeing that it's alive. All right, no, they put a lot of money in that shit, dude. It's breathing, it's alive, nigga. That battle table or battle plans and shit, you can see the little red, the flames are lit up around this. They said for it being alive like that, it's a lot of steam everywhere, dude, because they're using real fire. All right. Yeah, that Joker is literally alive in there. All right. Yes. And that's crazy. That plus the circumstances of how they're able to use the dragons. You ain't going to have another show like this where you have a bunch of goddamn dragons fighting. All right. Yeah, you better go ahead to suck it up, man. All right. You're getting some good stuff here. All right. And they said this is the case where you at the end, we're going to see the opportunity to see all the damn dragons that are supposed to die. All right. This is the destruction of the Targaryens entirely, dude. That's what's supposed to happen. So if anybody's sitting here looking, all right, T, what's the future? What? Look, man, everything sours, nigga. All right. Everything starts stinking. All right. You get it? All right. At the end, there's a sad little boy. All right. Which is Rhaenyra's son, who ends up being the king. All right. And I hear some spoilers. All right. No, because the original king, due to him being decrepit and crazy as cat shit. All right. All this other shit. The burning and the burns, the war, everything had messed with his mind, dude. He just started doing strange shit. So, dude, as they said, to the safety of the realm, he was poisoned. All right. And this is where Cragen Stark comes in at. All right. Because to him being poisoned here, Halls, that unseated him and then put Rhaenyra's son there in place. All right. Now, let's get on over here to a piece of Cragen Stark here, because I do want to get to that. But I got to show these previews here in a second. Because Cragen Stark, I got to break that down separately. All right. Yeah, his part is a little longer.
Gets the kill.
Come on now!
Crown is a weight that crushes. Rhaenyra will do, in the end, what she has to do. And what she has to do will be dire.
Have you not fixed your queen?
You can burn us. You can kill us. You will never make us embrace her.
Wear my father's crown. My enemies will not deny me my right.
Monday, y'all. Today is the day at 9 days. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I said, what you doing on Sunday? Mm-hmm. Hey, what you got going on Sunday? Mm-hmm. And hopefully I can watch House of the Dragon some type of way here this evening. If I can't watch it here, then I'll just do what I did before. Like I said, I'll come back possibly the day of when it's getting ready to come on, and then I can come in here, actually chime in and give you guys my thoughts and opinions, because I am a big fan of the damn House of the Dragon here. All right. That's the way I've been sitting here watching it, man. I've got to wait a couple hours before it comes on. And, go through some of these bootleg streams. I'm going to tell y'all like this. It is what it is. All right. I wish I can look at it, the way I look at Raising Kanan or some of these others. Yeah, sure, man. All right. But I'm going to keep it being with you. If I can save a few bucks, that's what I'm going to do. All right. I ain't that much damn anxious. I love the show. All right. But if I'm going to be able to watch shit anyway for free, I'm going to take a breath. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go sit down somewhere, nigga. All right. Yeah. Keep my little $18 or whatever it is. All right. They're going to hit your head. All right. You possibly can get it. I seen a subscription for as low as $13 a month or something like that. Connected to YouTube. You might can get it too, depending on what you connected to. But my case is with that family is that this is what I'm trying to go ahead to tell you. All right. Yeah. with this shit. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. No different than anyone else here. Just the context is I got to sit and wait around. Am I going to mention something in the courses of boxing here today after I watch the fight? I ain't even looked at the fight yet, man. All right. I'm behind on stuff, man, because I got to look at stuff a lot of times after it airs now, man. Usually I'd be on point. I'd be right there to have the same energy with the courses of these things, but I think it's better that way, man. It is. It gives me an opportunity to give everybody else a space and a rest so they can kind of go weigh in on it, and put their pros and cons. And I'm coming in the last minute. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't really listened to anybody's stuff there like that to sway my opinion when you already know what's gonna happen. All right, right. It's just like, okay, all right, well, whatever. All right, these special parts in here, excuse me, are completely different. We didn't expect, all right, for all these matters here. All right. I'm gonna say for Jace to get murdered so quickly. It's like soon as the joint starts, it's a big death. All right. That's why he said here, I told you, picking up off the ground to make a successful show, a great show that you plan on having. Well, that's going to have to consist of some of the marquee people that you've emotionally been able to get involved with as far as you caring about their safety. Remember, Jace sparked an alliance, a blood alliance in the book with Kragan Stark when he went to raise the armies there for Rhaenyra. You understand, he stopped over there by the twins. All right. What the twins wanted, of course, is to be lords of the Rip. No, they wanted to be all right. Speech impediment. Well, what are you talking about here? Yeah, man. Could you just get your damn sad behind out of here? What, somebody whooped on you in the back of a room somewhere? All right. These miserable niggas keep coming around me for. All right. You all right? Huh? Somebody left you alone in the house or something? Yeah, get your mark ass up out of here. All right? Yeah. Man, don't come in here trying to play games with me, nigga. I stay on ready. All right? Little weird nigga. Water on a brain head having nigga. All right? Yeah, don't come play with me, dude. Talking about some speech impediment. All right? Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he talking about. All right? Nor does it retain anything we got popping in here. All right? You're not a comedian. All right? No, a lot of you niggas, you're not important in your own setting, dude. Don't come over here trying to flex your chest. All right? Right. Shit. I'm the nigga over here that you came to listen to. All right? Hoe ass nigga. All right? Right. You ain't got to do that. Shit. Some of y'all used to not getting called on in class and people treating you as if you don't exist. All right? Yeah, you gonna bring your buster ass over here on a Sunday. I got something for your ass. All right? Yeah. Hoe ass nigga. All right? Right. I'm a man. All right? Now, when you come over here, you talk to me as such. All right? Yeah, I don't play those games, dude. All right? Yeah. Yeah, whatever's wrong with you, God bless you. All right? Yeah, but don't bring your little sour ass over here like that. All right? Let's go ahead and keep rolling. All right? No, but as I said once again here, for the standing there this season, a big bang, ball rolling, Jacaerys, his connection with the Starks, of course, and Kragan Stark, and being able to have the assistance of the Winter Wolves, dude, or should we say Rowdy the Ruin? All right, to have the assistance of Rowdy the Ruin, the Winter Wolves. In the book, they arrive mounted on horses. This is a part of at least the settings of what they bring forth, but the story also tells you this here, and this is why I said y'all also gotta listen carefully to all the context, because the gray-haired people here, all right, or gray beards as he called them, talking to brother his brother Targaryen, Jace. All right, those 2,000 men here, all right, are something like an appetizer. All right. No, he's actually gathering up the troops. So he will end up, as I said, joining the fray and grabbing up the actual Northern army and marching to King's Landing with about 8,000 soldiers. And this is when everybody else's soldiers, everybody else's militaries will be depleted. Dragons dead everywhere. All right. King been poisoned. They coming in rowdy because they're looking for a fight, somebody to fight. All right. They warned Jace. He told them, look, I got the Graybeards, which they did a great job for them folks there. Them individuals you see in the show that said we came to die for the Dragon Queen. Right. Those individuals. All right. They said they did an excellent job here as far as leveling the playing field and getting things in order for the blacks, man. They did a great job. But Kragan Stark told Jace, I'm gonna need a couple of months to get my official armies together. All right, to send my ravens, to get all my banners and my people here together, because he was picking certain folks in particular here. All right, so he didn't weaken the circumstances of individuals' families here. All right, that's how he was picking. I forgot these strategic line of things, but you read the story to tell you it's something that is very empathetic, I would say. All right, yes indeed. But out of that, where he would pick out of all those young men, it was about 8,000, which all of them, as he tells the story, they had the mentality of the old niggas. All right, they all understood and knew that they possibly wasn't going to come home, and they was prepared to ride. All right, Kragan Stark had the North on lock politically, stronger than any other person who has been the warden of the North, dude. Yeah. All right. The story tells you that he went to break bread at all of these spots in here, and which wrote with him that had they banners riding with the Starks. He would sit down at the dinner table and chop it up with these folks. All right. No, he didn't send ravens and all that. He would come holler at you if there was problems there and literally dispense justice. Yes, indeed. That's what Kragan did. So this is how he earned a good deal of respect, because he started with his own damn uncle, I guess, and his cousin or whatever this is. All right. By sending their asses to the wall. All right. He was old enough to take power and they wouldn't relinquish power. All right. Yeah. So he dropped a boot on top of their head. All right. And that was his introduction into the game, or at least into the North, to say, I'm not here to play with nobody. All right. Kragan Stark delivered swift justice. And at the end, even down to Sir Loras, dude. Yes, he's going to be close to getting beheaded. You understand? No, head cut off by Kragan. All right. Nobody could resist this. The facts were, and Kragan was the hand of the king. He labeled himself hand of the king. No council, no nothing. He had all the power. And what he said is for Rhaenyra's son, all right, before I leave, I'm going to make sure ain't none of you snake ass niggas around. I'm going to dispense some justice in here. Remember, I told you he got 8,000. He's rowdy. There's a war to fight, man, and ain't nobody to fight. All right. So he grabbed up something like 22 people in there, dude. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, at least this is what the stories tell, baby. That's what the book says. All right. But he grabbed up a whole bunch of jokers. All right. Sir Loras was one of them. That other bad leg joker there, the little strong dude. All right. I believe he was one of them too as well. All right. With his little turncoat ass. All right. They also, he beheaded the damn master in there. So that same master, all right, that I believe that, excuse me, I want to say this here. All right. They could mix things up here. But if as far as the book goes, the same master that Aemon threw on the ground, getting ready to chop his head off, all right, you say, I label you a traitor to something, you're a treasonous to the crown. All right, and the guy yelled out, he said, sir, he's like, the prince. He said, my prince. And that stopped him from getting his head chopped off. That master is going to get his head chopped off by, Kragan Stark, I believe. All right, I believe, man. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. All right. Yes. But he's going to go get the business. A few people going to get their heads chopped off because in northern terms, the person who passes the sentence swings the sword. All right. No, that's been their cultural thing. All right. Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. Where is this here? Okay, so we already seen here. Back up here. Yeah, say how could you? You got all right. He's gonna get sent to the wall. All right, and I'm gonna say he gave a good political talk and speak with Kragan as him being the hand of the king and all this, but Kragan Stark wasn't one of these people that believed in all of this stuff with the terms politically. He just believed in justice and right and wrong. And his thought process was at the time they show in the book, they're like, dude, like one of you jokers in here poison the damn king. You don't even have the type of honor or dignity to even let him fight with a sword in his hand. You poison him. He said, I feel like that's a sucker ass move. And whoever did that is going to pay. All right. Yeah, you're not getting a pass. I don't care how high of a lord you are, dude. All right. Yeah. That's what he told him. I'm talking about this guy right here. All right. That's what he told him. All right. Because they were trying to, everybody was speaking up for him. All these different people. Come on, man. He's got history. You know, he's a lord. He's the richest person in Westeros. He's this. He's like, man, I don't give a shit. All right. Yeah, y'all set up in here. You were hand of the king underneath of Aegon, nigga. This burnt up ass king. All right. And you colluded with whoever else you did. All right, to get him out of the way, and all of y'all are gonna have justice served on your ass. And the man, Kragan started he's so cold, man. All right, the brother's so cold here because, all right, he could have took the throne at that time for himself. Let me just put that clear. He could have taken it if he wanted to. He could have taken it for himself. All right, he simply came in there to King's Landing. All right, the term was called the thing. It was called the Hour of the Wolf, nigga. All right. Yeah, he even got something for it. Yeah, the Hour of the Wolf. All right. But he stayed there. The story says he stayed there for 6 days, Halls. All right. And after that 6th day of getting everything squared and the proposals he had together, marriage proposals and different things like that. All right. Because I believe he was supposed to get married to one of the Blackwoods or what have you. That was part of the deal of allowing Sir Loras to be able to take the black hair, I believe. All right. Yeah, is that with that engagement of marriage with the Blackwoods. Mm-hmm. All right. That was part of one of those bargaining chips right there. All right. And he just said, look, I'm tired of this bullshit. All right. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, I'm taking my ass back to the north. Yeah, y'all can have this shit. All right. Yeah, the moment justice was over. All right. Yeah, that's why I respect him. I'm like, all right, cool. All right, because it truly shows you, no, it wasn't really necessarily about flexing no damn power, dude. It was about justice and only justice, nigga. All right, I ain't here for no extras. This ain't about say photo op for me to look cool or the. All right, no, who did what, Halls? All right, and who was in charge at the time? All right, who swore XYZ and broke their goddamn vows to collude in here? Because all of you are getting the business. All right. Yep. Down to the most richest one out of y'all, dude. That's what he displayed. All right. He also was a person, just to add something great to his name, where he made it a good thing for you to take the black. You were praised upon that. All right. Rather being the 9th son or what have you. All right. Because they said for the Starks, man, when they get a certain amount of children, I think their 9th son or whatever it is, that a 9th child, a 9th son, that child automatically goes to the Night's Watch. This is how the Starks have kept a deep connection with the wall itself. Kragan Stark is a big part of that because he would take new recruits up to the wall himself. All right. Oh, yeah. All right. That's how deep indebted. He made it to them. He made it an honor to be able to have such a duty, dude. Instead of it just being something for murderers and All right, low lives. This is your lane to stay alive other than being put to the sword. You can just wear the black. All right. Yeah, because that's what it's made for in most of the lanes. Even how it's described to in the cases of Jon Snow, when people start being honest with him, that's how they describe it. All right, it's the worst place on hell. All right, on earth. He said, hell on earth, nigga. I'm sitting here at the black. You're around low lives. All right. Yes, indeed. And that you can add this conversation in place of looking to see what happened with Mormon. All right. No, with the Lord Commander Mormon and being out there with those goddamn with them jokers starving. Mm-hmm. They were hungry, sitting up there and crustlers keep, dude. All right. All hell broke loose. All right. You start sitting around looking at hungry, all right, desperate damn men. All right. Knowing that food and women and wine and all this other bullshit is around. All hell broke loose in there. All right. Shit. There wasn't nothing he could do. Them niggas was too hungry, man. All right. It's too goddamn hungry. All right. You got crustless little funky ass in there talking about I'm giving you bread. All right. And the one dude is like, yeah, there's sawdust in the bread. All right. Yeah. You got pigs and shit, hogs. Man, get them niggas something to eat. All right. Before they kill you. All right. And that's exactly what happened. He talking about shutting somebody. I'll chop the hands off the next man who calls me bastard. All right. And understand, Chrysler got himself murdered running at that dude. All right. That guy defended himself. All right. Shit. Now, he was in his house and what have you. All right. Yeah, he was. You could tell him to get the hell out. Right. But as far as running at him, all right, that's a choice he just decided to make, which was the wrong choice. All right. You put him down, the only person that you had there in defense of these cases here, all right, was Lord Commander Mormon and about two of the individuals that they ended up having chained up, Jon Snow's homeboys. Shit. All the rest of the mutineers, as they called them, they were down with it, man. All right? Shit. No, the mutineers were down with it. Shit. They can be as savage as they needed to be. Let me go back here to this. Now, this is him speaking here to the cases of Rhaenyra here in bed. She's messed up, man. You're going to lose 2 kids. And this factor, like, I think it's going to mentally make her break, dude. All right? No, you lose both of the strong children, dude. As Eamon said, both of them strong children. All right? No, they both short, nigga. They both were short. They both had a strong black hair, dude. All right? Like a strong nigga or a Baratheon. All right? I had black hair. All right? And that goes right back to the cases of the golden-haired children. Talking about the Lannisters, baby. Hold on one second.
Rhaenyra is weak,
There's always
suited to
something
rule.
going on.
You will have justice.
I will never have justice. But what crumbs of it may be snatched, I will devour.
We'll fight on our own terms.
My purpose.
Hey, they about to start picking with me, Halls. That's how it usually goes. If I go ahead to put my hands on something here, and then the screen starts to drift like that, then we about to have some technical difficulties. That's exactly how I know here. All right, simply because of me having to deal with this a few times here. Give me one more second. All right, hold on, partner. highways, everything, man. I'm telling you. All right, fuck. All right, but let me get back to this long piece here. All right, the way that they have created the episode coming out was a new idea that they got down. Give me 1 second here. And just, I'm talking about any form of we say rather low income housing here, or all right, the poor side of town, whatever you want to look at here. You see violations all day long. I didn't even want to get into this, but as I'm sitting in here, I can't even help it. I'm trying to stream. And as y'all see us chilling in here, you mean to tell me that y'all went in here to clear the circumstances of what? 8, 9, or 10 damn planes to go over top of somebody's damn community? All right, round 1 p. All right, this is clear. They ain't gonna do this in no rich folks' damn community. Any amount of noise here, halls, somebody gonna be on the phone complaining about their damn piece. When you go ahead to talk about things that's probably say closer to the circumstances of the city or anything else like that, all right, yeah, man. Yeah, the volume, it don't matter. It's 24/7. All right, like I said, man. No, I never get my mind too comfortable to the circumstances of the different levels of living, man. All right, because it's for a country man. All right, it's easily noticeable. All right, it is when you're used to certain cases of just sitting around, and you ain't gonna hear no loud noise like that unless the trash people coming around. All right, yeah, or maybe some construction or something is all right around the corner, what have you, maybe all right down the road. But for the most point, man, you just yeah, right. Shit here, that shit was so noticeable here. I had to stop here. I kept telling y'all, hold on, pause. It's like, all right, here come the first one flying in, and the second one, and the third one, and the fourth. All right, like goddamn, they set an airport up, nigga. All right, goddamn it, right up the street here. All right, is this something I don't know? All right. Hey, is there a landing surface close to here? All right. Shit. All right. Oh, maybe they built it overnight. All right. Oh, who knows? All right. Anyhow, dude, let me get back to what I'm doing. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. House of the Dragon setting of going back into the costumes, the gear that they putting on here. All right, their shields, the Lannister armor, and some of these other things. Now they're programming this damn show. It originally had a different theme to it, but this is what it sounds like now when it's coming on. Fair use. All right, we're just giving a demonstration. Much sounds the same here. All right, hold on. But they have switched up the imagery. This is what I'm trying to say here. All right, I think some of the music has changed here too. All right, let me go ahead to fast forward just a tad. All right, fair use. A lot of the imagery changed a bunch of that stuff. All right. Yeah, even to this point here, I don't know if that's on the side of the cup bearing or whatever he's doing there next to him. All right. Yeah, it looks like the king, and he's leaning forward. All right. Yeah. As you can see, the tally flag, and you see the Airy flag here. And this is the Winterfield joint that's behind him. All right. Now, why would this be set like this? Please remember what I told you about old Kragan Stark. All right. Being the hand of the king. Do y'all remember that? All right. Why would they go ahead to put this shit up here and illustrate this otherwise? This is a Stark joint with a crown on top of his head. All right. Come on now. All right. Now you can go to add that she has a crown too as well. Well, fine. Well, look what position that he's in over top of them. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm going to tell you here for this illustration. They ain't doing this shit for nothing. All right. This is why I have a stronger belief that, all right, upon telling the story, all right, which I'm hoping, that they're going to tell the whole story. All right. Please don't get to the parts of Rhaenyra getting eaten by the dragon. All right. Burnt and eaten by the dragon in front of her son. All right. Aemon being poisoned. And then y'all leave it at, okay, the young king here. All right. He's going to go ahead to be king. All right. Rhaenyra's son, and us schemers will go ahead and take charge politically until he comes of age. No, nigga. All right. No, we need to see exactly what happened to every damn body. If y'all want to end this shit here, if a House of the Dragon, all right, after Kragan Stark has the hour of the wolf, them 6 days, I'm fine with that. All right. But not before that, dude. All right. No, because that clears up the circumstances for anybody here for the readers' consumption, for the people that are looking here that just enjoy this show. That clears up that question of, does everybody get what they got coming to them? All right. Is justice actually dispensed? And the answer is yes. All right. Yep. When them dragons die off, nigga, and the armies around these militaries they have start to get thin. All right. Here comes 8,000 damn Stark troopmen. Stark soldiers marching into King's Landing. All right. Yep. Yeah, that's Jace getting stabbed in the neck there. That's what it looks like there to me. Y'all watching some of this stuff. Not sure who this is. All right. Okay, I got an idea. All right. That's the original king that was there. All right. Before Rhaenyra's father was picked. Jahaira Levin's hair is yeah, you understand what that is, but they decide to switch it up fully. And I think that this is better than you having blood spilling all over the place and all this old silly shit. All right. Yeah, the last one that they had, I'm not really too fond of it, man. I'm not. All right. The way I say I look at Game of Thrones here from a person that has watched the damn show here for a long period of time. All right. We're moving properly on schedule. All right. You only got 1 week, man. And like I told you, that was enough for everybody to sit back and talk about there and what have you. And like I told you, the sea snake, man, story is going to be dreadful here all the way down to the end. All right. Yeah, his story is going to be horrible. At the end, he has to take the black, man. All right. And more than that, this scene right here, I'm showing y'all in front of you. All right. That this scene here, his son had to take control. He had to take charge. All right. He ain't had no choice. His father was in there looking lost and looking crazy. All right. That's where you seen him, where he's sitting there breathing all hard and staring around. All right. And his son actually kills that young lady there, the lead captain that she had. I mean, her whole deal, was based on the circumstances of her brothers in arms dying. This is part of that scene around here. All right. Not only that, as I told y'all, they were calling the moon dancer a YN because he was burning everything. All right. And they had pictures on Facebook and what have you of this Joker with a with a Pooh Shiesty on. All right. Yeah, moon dancer. All right. It was sitting there calling him damn. You say he was a YN, dude. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. And I can't disagree. All right. I can't say I disagree. All right. Not at all. All right. But for this video's context and everything else here, I am going to be coming back to go ahead and to go in on episode 2 to tell y'all how I feel about this. I think the future here is going to bring Sir Otto Hightower into the dungeon. I think and I believe that parts of the tensions and the problems of what Rhaenyra's gonna have with the people in the town is how she treats the damn former queen, dude, and her daughter, Queen Alicent. All right, depending on how she carries it. Remember, all right, for some of y'all folks who have read the story, 5, I believe, I want to say 5 of the dragons are killed by the people. They had a panic, ran down in that little dragon's keep. They kept them at. They're chained up. They were stabbing and pillaging these jokers to death with whatever they can find in their hand, just beating them to death. Now, one of them had ended up being able to get out their chains high enough to hit the ceiling real hard to get out. But the ceiling from all the damn bricks and everything else ended up crushing and killing that dragon. But that dragon ended up taking out a good deal of the people that was in there too. All right, right. But that also didn't stop the other dragons from being killed. They couldn't necessarily move and do the things they needed to do here, Halls. All right, because they were confined to that tight ass space. All right, but that consists, family, of about 5 dragons that I said that ended up getting taken out, including Rhaenyra's dragon. You understand? Because for Rhaenyra's dragon, her son makes the mistake of trying to ride her dragon to go and help and save some of the people. All right, yeah, to save the other dragons. So when her son mounts the damn dragon, the dragon has her son on the back for a second and then looks and just like, man, get your ass off of me. All right, that's how them dragons is, dude. All right, I'm connected to your mama, nigga. All right, me and your mama got something going on, boy. All right, yeah, you got the game all wrong, Doug. All right, yeah, I don't know nothing about you, dude. All right, right. He flicked him right off the back of the horse. And when he flicked, I said off the horse, off the dragon. And when he did that, the fall killed him. The dragon then actually did go down there to try to help the rest of the individuals that were there, the rest of the dragons and then what have you, trying to help them in the army, and ended up getting himself killed. The dragon fought hard. The dragon did everything that the dragon could do, but the people were stronger. All right. Yes, indeed. They put down 5 dragons in here due to their fear of the dragon, due to the fact of all the catastrophic damage that had already taken place due to the war, due to starvation. A bunch of people were hungry, and due to the circumstances that they had emptied out the damn treasury before she got there. All right. So because of that, she put a tax on the people that were already damn starving. All right, this is how the people ended up turning on her. So, like I said, spoiler. All right, you've just been given it. Some of y'all already seen for the previews, the writing on the wall. All right, Queen of Bastards. All right, they're going to turn on her ass. All right, yeah, it's gonna be the worst thing ever, because what it's gonna prove to you here is that she ain't got no real control over things without Daemon sitting there in place. All right. No, you don't. While Daemon is sitting there, folks will obey and listen and do what you know what I mean, what you saying. All right. As long as he's breathing and moving around. All right. You start to take him out of there here, Halls, and you start to watch to see how loyal these individuals are. Even the cats that knew Daemon was around, them folks that had dragons stabbed her in the damn back here. All right. And simply because of what she was offering. All right. You make a person with a big funky ass dragon, you make them a lord. All right. They get a castle. All right. I don't give a shit how the other lords feel. Do they got a dragon? They ain't got one? Well, then they got to shut the fuck up. All right. Yeah. What you mean? You don't tell them that you're you know what, for fighting for me. And you know, an arrow, any one of these arrows can hit your heart and kill you. For fighting for me, you get a night ship and a horse. The clock is ticking before that person turns on you, nigga. All right? They sitting up underneath of that dragon. They know what type of power that holds. All right? This is why that little, the hammer, something Lee Hammersley or whatever, This is why he turns. But when he turns, he doesn't join the cases of the Greens. All right. He turns to clarify himself king, nigga. All right. That's how his dragon made him feel. This is why you make them lords. All right. Yes. All right. That's why you do that. And you do that with the houses that have already rebelled against you. There's plenty of castles. All right. Plenty. All right. Every bastard who swore an oath and formed a military to go after you is an acceptable castle for them to have. All right. Yo, you're the queen. You got your spaces. You got dragons landing. All this shit is yours. All right. Everything else can be divvied up. All right. That's what makes sense. And if you start talking turkey like that at the table, you have less colluding and backstabbers. Because a person sitting around with a big ass dragon seeing all of this death, at some point would like to know what it's all for. All right. Yes. All right. All of this death, all of these bodies, all of this fire going everywhere. All right. What is it all for, dude? What am I getting, man? I don't just want a horse, nigga. All right. Like the little drunk dude said, and he was right, nigga. People have to respect me because I got this big funky ass dragon. All right. That's why you got to watch your mouth. All right. Never mind if she knighted me, nigga. All right. Fuck a knighthood. I want a castle. What he said, you get more women in a castle. All right. He's right. All right. Guess what? He's absolutely right. All right. You want him to kill hundreds of people, thousands for a knighthood, nigga. All right. Yeah. You sold yourself out here like that because you didn't deal properly. You don't, when you dealing with situations like that, you don't hold none of the cards, nigga. It's about the circumstances that is reasonable right now. You're in the middle of a crisis. All right. She's trying to politically move all cool so you don't piss some bastards off who you can't trust anyway, who will stab you in your back in a moment's notice, also if they see that there's something in there for them. All right. And you worried about their damn approval. All right. If these cats are lords or not, nigga, over your own damn survival. All right. Shit. Now, right now, you got to take care of the people that have allegiance to you, dude. All right, never mind for the bullshit. All right, you don't exist, nigga. You put up arms against me. Your house is up for grabs. All right, and everybody who lives in it. All right, hold on. All right, as I go ahead to show you guys, all right, the Winter Wolves. All right, and this here is I believe Rowdy to Ruin. All right, because he's supposed to be some old, dried up, decrepit man. All right. And his famous words that everybody is repeating is, we came to die for the Dragon Queen. All right. And I told you guys why I respect him already, because your duties are made out. That's that. For the sacrifice of your kids, your children, your grandchildren, what have you. Y'all ain't got to go out here and fight this fight. We got you. All right. Bunch of old gray-haired men. All right. With battle axes. All right. Chopping people down. They come to you with one of the Lannisters' heads, nigga. All right. Yeah, we come to die for the Dragon Queen. All right. Ready to ride. And for certain men out here to go up against battle like that, that's scary as hell. All right. A person in their mind, I don't give a shit if I die or not, nigga, because that's what I came out here for. Now let's get it popping. All right. Oh, that's scary as hell. All right. No, we thinking logically here for folks who got sanity and you plan on seeing tomorrow. And all right. No, you're not going up against an opponent like that. All right. You're going up against a joker, nigga. I don't give a shit, dude. All right. If you got your blade in my shoulder, I'm coming. All right. Because that's what I came in here to do anyway, dude. All right. I don't care, nigga, if you done took 2 of my fingers off. I'm still coming. All right. Yes. And as you guys see him and his part in the story, as they show when he dies, somebody chops an arm off of him, but not before he goes to kill about 7 people. All right. Yes. You understand? All right. Rowdy, he says, Rowdy, the ruin, nigga. The ruin. All right. Yeah. An old dried up white man. All right. Come give you the business. All right. Yeah, and like Craig, for Craig and Stark here, I told you his case, he felt something personal for all of these jokers there, these brothers that gave their lives, all right, that came there to die for the Dragon Queen. They lost most of them. So the 8,000 Northern men followed behind the Winter Wolves, but they came months later, Ravens later, Dragons dead later. You understand? All right, wars later, because as Kragan said, I need time here for me to develop my armies, to get all my banners together, to pick the right people to take with me for this battle. All right, and to leave the correct people behind. All right. Oh yeah. All right. Shit, he was smart politically, top to bottom, dude. All right. Even and that's something you can look at the history books for. That was done phenomenally by the Starks in that case, and was done excellent by the Lannisters and Robert's rebellion. Because remember, the Lannisters kept their army back, nigga. Everybody else was fighting. Everyone else. All right. That's why the Mad King was so confused when he was at the gate, because it hadn't publicly there been declared of who he was rooting for. All right. And who he was supporting. All right. But as Jamie knew something here, which everybody else didn't know, or they did, but they didn't care, which is his father would never pick the losing side. All right? No. Yeah, you're getting your ass kicked. Your guys got beat down at the Trident. Why would I be here to protect your funky ass? All right? It's over. All right? The only thing left to do is to sack the goddamn town. This is why he was at the door. All right? Because the lie at the door, what he was saying is, yeah, we're here for the protection of the king. We're here to protect the king. All right. Yeah, it's somebody was talking. They had to con their way in. All right. And excuse me, they weren't going to do that at first here. And then, you know, in this case, the circumstances that Jamie said, my father never picks the losing side. All right. Telling the king that. Master Parcell comes up there in the story and says, yes, but, you know, the Lannisters have always been good friends of the crown. All right. And that's when they let him in. And when they let him in here, Hoss, they started sacking the town immediately. And then when that happened here, he told the Mad King signal to his pyromancer to signal to the other pyromancers to light the damn King's Landing on fire, dude. All right. This is why Jamie had to put that pyromancer down. All right. I guess plus another one. All right. Right. Just in case he got the signal off. Something about another one. Then come back and put the king down. All right. It was necessary, dude. He said he saved over 500,000 lives, nigga. All right. The same way you seen the scepter, that church blew up. The whole King's Landing would have blew up, nigga, if Jamie didn't do what he did. All right. You understand, for his character, he walked around the majority of that show having to be the king slayer and living in shame. All right. Because he didn't tell individuals, just a select few, what really happened. All right. Yeah, he should be labeled a hero. You damn right. But as he said, Ned Stark opened the door and just judged him. He's sitting there standing over top of the king's body. He's sitting in the throne chair. All right. Arrogant as hell. All right. And at that moment, he was immediately judged, nigga. All right. Kingslayer. All right. Yeah. And Robert pardoned him, of course. Hold on. All right. Kingslayer. What I don't like about Ned Stark's little contradicting ass, dude, I got plenty of problems. All right. And Sir Arthur Dayne is one of them. Yeah, you lied, yo. You would sit there and lie to your kids and lie to everybody else about how you killed the baddest swordsman alive in single-hand combat. Nigga, you lied, yo. All right? No, the three-eyed raven showed Brandon Stark what really happened. All right? And what really happened is it was a sneak attack from the high tower dude. All right? A sneak attack. All right? Which, Sir Arthur Dane got stabbed in the back by one of the guys he thought he had killed. All right? That guy got off the ground. All right, took his blade and stabbed him somewhere like in the back of his neck and in his back, around that area right there. All right. And from that, Ned Stark picked up a sword and delivered the final blow. All right. But he didn't beat Sir Arthur Dane. Sir Arthur Dane was one sword's move away from killing Ned Stark. Ned had fell on his ass and dropped his sword, y'all. All right. He beat Ned Stark and the rest of them niggas. You might as well say 6 against 1. All right. That's a bad swordsman, nigga. All right. I'm talking, he's doing this shit like it's nothing, chopping niggas down like flies. All right. I'm talking about like nothing, Halls. All right. Yes, indeed. I'm talking about, he said, he's slick with it. You understand? All right. Yes, indeed. You talking about you got 2 blades swinging, 2 swords. All right. No, that nigga can rumble, dude. All right. And they had to show it like that to let you know that, no, this nigga is in a whole nother realm when you talk about sword fighting. All right. Yeah, I'm not, nigga. I don't do this shit y'all doing, dude. All right. This shit, when I see these guys sword fighting, it's like the Matrix, nigga. Everything slow down. That's how good he was. All right. Yeah. And Ned Stark lied to the world and said, you beat Sir Arthur Dane, dude. You understand in the cases of status and how high that puts him up, dude? Every person that you heard speak about Sir Arthur Dane as a knight said he was the baddest man breathing. All right? Even Sir Barristan, all them other niggas that was sitting around. All right? When they get to him, the son of the morning, all right? Yeah, you can't mess with this Danish man. All right? Go ahead to put it on you. All right, that's a Danish sword. They said something about the sword is made out of broken pieces of the sun or something like that. All right, whatever they tried to accumulate it to. All right, but the sword is not made like any other sword. That's what they're trying to say. Something similar to the Valerian sword. All right, but he comes from a Danish family there. All right. Mm-hmm. And Ned never beat him, dude. All right. Just as his other tiff that he had there, where Littlefinger was correct there, right before they seized him and grabbed him up when he was limping in King's Landing in the first season. All right. He wanted to provide a space for an army to withhold, all right, Cersei and guard back the military that she did have, all right, so that he could ready the throne for Stannis. All right. And them cases of circumstances, all right, remember he was in there making a deal with Littlefinger, all right? Littlefinger understands a man like Stannis, dude. Stannis is in tune with the law, what's right and wrong, all right? Excuse me, Sir Onion Knight knows that more than anything, all right? For stealing and what have you and being a smuggler, all right? He stopped, the Baratheons from hunger, all right? So, Stannis made him a lord, y'all. He also chopped his goddamn fingers off. All right? Yeah. So if you're talking about a little slick, greasy bastard like damn Littlefinger, he's not sitting around hoping for some deal from him. He understands if his slimy ass gets caught around, Stannis is going to serve him justice, dude, for whatever crimes he has damn committed. So many. All right? Yes, indeed. All right. This is why he frowned his face. It's almost like Ned gave him no options other than to be some slime ball here, Halls, because Ned wouldn't even be honest about what he wanted. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna say, yeah, I know Catelyn, you cared about Catelyn, I need the army, I need the gold cloaks, man. All right. He's like, look, dude, when the hand of the king demands one action, And the new king then demands another one. I'm paraphrasing. Who does the gold cloaks follow? The person who pays them. All right. So that answered his question right there, nigga. All right. No, the Lannisters control all the money and shit. All right. Right. They're not going to listen to your damn so-and-so judgment over top of that. It was all a stupid move. Mm-hmm. He explained it to him. All right. If he was paying attention. All right. No, the ones who paid. He said, it's on the tip of your tongue. You want me to do it, but honor compels you to where as though you just won't say it. All right. Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ned Stark ended up hitting his own self in the head. And as y'all watch for season 2, you seen that the imp did a whole lot of things differently than Ned Stark, dude, to keep himself safe. All right. Underneath for no protections whatsoever. And the funky ass king trying to put a hit on you, dude. All right. No, against his own uncle, man, in battle and shit, dude. Like, he's a loser. All right. I really didn't. Like, you ain't think you ain't like Jeffrey. I really ain't like that nigga. Goddamn vandalizing cat and shit. All right. From the book's terms, all right, it shows that Robert really did not like Jeffrey. And he used to whoop his ass real bad here. All right. No, Stannis Baratheon had caught Jeffrey cutting open a cat or something to see his insides. He went to show Robert what he had done. And Robert had smacked the dog shit out of him. This is what happens in the book. All right. So he knew his son was a little foul joker. All right. No, he ain't never really spent no time with him like that. All right. That's what he said. That's what he tells you in the actual show there. All right. But yeah, he knew that something was wrong with that little boy. All right. And even for the cases of Queen Marjorie. All right. Intelligent, sharp, and on time. And she knew how to deal with Cersei. Cersei did not know how to deal with the Tyrells. And that shows you that from the rise of the High Sparrow. All right, because like I told y'all before, Cersei's biggest flaw is she thinks she's intelligent like her father. All right, yeah, politically. And it's like your father would not make emotional, stupid ass political moves like that. All right. Just to make you feel like you got some power. All right. Yeah. I'm going to go and take some little church, some religious fanatics so they can go after my enemies. All right. No, he don't drink wine. He ain't trying to take nothing else you offering him. But when you give him power and tell him, yeah, he said, yeah, we're all judged equally underneath the gods. These are things that Tywin would have picked up on. All right. Yeah, that Joker wouldn't have been able to lead that room, nor would he be having that damn conversation with him, Halls. All right. No, she didn't understand who she was dealing with, inviting that Joker into her office to talk in the first place. You can tell, all right, by their dialogue. All right. This is why it's no shocker to most when they snatched her when she came in there to go antagonize Queen Marjorie. All right. Bring her some soup from 2 nights ago with her funky ass. All right. Yeah. That's why Marjorie just threw the bowl and told her to get the hell out, you hateful bitch. Right. Yeah. All right. Because she was rotten. You in here, all right, to pick at her based on your little funky ass plans. All right, to have some hidden power that everybody can see here. And what really is the kicker is she armed all of them, dude. She gave them the dungeon and the scepter, and then they threw your funky ass in there. All right, right after you finished going ahead to pick with this girl. All right, yes, indeed. Shaved your head bald, marched your ass through the street, people throwing shit on you and stuff. All right. Oh, she got it bad, yo. All right. That's probably one of the worst scenes in Game of Thrones history. All right. No, when they marching her naked ass down the street talking about some shame, shame, shame. All right. Ringing the bells behind her ass. All right. Shame. All right. March your damn naked ass down the street. Shame. All right. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. No, nobody gave her shit, dude. All right. Nobody cared. It was Cersei. People understand that she was evil. She'll do anything to you. All right. That's when she got so damn vicious here. It was just out of control, man. She had losing her father, excuse me, here in a sense there, and then being dehumanized like that, to though the lowest commoner can walk up and just spit on her. All right. That's what was happening. People were spitting on her. She was walking past, pouring shit out the window on top of her. All right. Now, as you see it, she literally got feces on her shoulder, nigga. All right. Yeah, they were doing her dirty. All right. Talk about real greasy. All right. So the biggest joy in the world when y'all see the end of that scene for her, it wasn't just making it back into the Red Keep. It was the fact that Qyburn had finished working on the mountain. Right. So the mountain was fully, all right, healed and ready to protect, dude. So this is why you see he put her in a blanket and picked her up to carry her away. And he said he will not speak until all the queen's enemies are dead. All right. Now for the story, it says that he wouldn't take his mask off. All right. The other soldiers seen he wasn't eating anymore. All right. All this shit as if Qyburn turned him into a monster. All right. Yeah. Remember, he sexually violated the damn scepter when Cersei burnt down the scepter. All right. And the couple of people were left, like that nun that was behind her yelling shame, that was beating her with a spoon when she was in the black cells. All right. No, she left her to the mountain, nigga. All right. And in that scene, he takes his helmet off. He looks all funky and shit. All right. Lips, his lips and nose look damn near glued together. All right. Yeah. It looks like Frankenstein coming in the shadows. All right. He taking all his clothes, his knight's clothes off. All right. And you can hear her yelling. You can hear the woman yelling, screaming because she's strapped to the joint there. And then you hear Cersei walking out the joint talking about some shame, shame, shame. All right. Now that's a vicious ass woman here. All right. Just not too bright, man. All right. That shit cost her hers. It cost her Tomlin as well. A fragile dude that all he needed was somebody to comfort him at that time, and he didn't have any of that. All right. Yeah, he wouldn't have jumped out the damn window. All right. Yeah, it was a lot of shit she wasn't paying attention to. All this because she was so much worried about the power that Queen Marjorie had and how that would minimize her power. All right. Yes, indeed. Shit. Tywin knew how to hold shit down politically without him having to force himself at the front of the line. From the Mad King's affairs, he knew for years how to be a damn hand of the king. All right. So because of just that territory there alone, like I said, for political things, he knows how to keep the kingdom running here without having to worry about all the emotional bickering like bullshit. All right. Yeah, Queen Marjorie won't heed to you. They won't kiss your ass. So what? All right, you goddamn rotten heifer. Ain't that your problem anyway? All right. She sat there on the steps and just watched her damn egghead son order the murder of Ned Stark. All right. This is how the imp had to be sent over there in the first place. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. He said chaos. All right. He said, I got madness going on and a wolf at my door. All right. Stannis will be here in 3 or 4 days, something, and a wolf at my door. Madness. That's what he was looking at when he read that raven of Jeffrey ordering Ned Stark's head being chopped off, because that set into the characteristics and into the effect here of a bunch of problems out of Cersei's out of control rockhead child. All right. Yeah. King Tomlin and Marcella were good kids, dude. All right. I can agree to that. All right. But old Jeffrey, yeah, that's all Cersei right there. All right. Yeah, he's just a buster ass dude. All right. Yeah, you ain't here killing sex workers and shit because you a weirdo. All right. Hit her again harder. Ha! Yeah, man, get this nigga out of here, man. Hand me some of that. We said the strangler. Give me some of that. The strangler, man. Get this nigga out of here. Weird ass Joker. All right. No, abusing people, abusing the damn sex workers. All right. Yeah, something wrong with you. All right. Your cousin brought your uncle brought you some cheeks in there for your name day, nigga. All right. Yeah. And it go from you enjoying yourself to you in here, all right, trying to like viciously kill somebody in here. All right. You don't need to be ruling nothing. All right. This is why even down to Tyrion, he joked with Cersei, but he was serious, man. All right. When he's talking about that people don't deserve the circumstances that have to be ruled by her son. That nigga out of control. All right. Oh, yeah. Hold on one second.
You liked this man.
I do.
In the time since he's met me, he's refused to call me queen. He's refused to bow.
Right. Now, y'all see the cases of Tyrion. I speak to him again. All right. Politically, he knew how to hold things down and how to deal with certain people's egos and their strengths and their weaknesses. Daenerys' strength in here, Halls, all right, has been able to surround herself with the right counsel in order for her to channel some of her personal grievances she may have. All right. Yeah, because other folks clever, like as far as Tyrion, leaves this good mark to say, we have done everything we can do civil with you before I decide to take these dragons and destroy you. All right. Yes. All the way up until she cut Nasende's head off. All right. All the way up until then. After that, all right. Yeah. Daenerys didn't have no chill mode. None. All right. She recognized Jon Snow wasn't going to lay up with her. All right. Yeah, that was it. All right. She figured she ain't have no true connection to nothing. And that's what helped her burn down King's Landing like that. All right. Because to her, she was a foreigner to all this shit, coming over here to get the throne. It had cost her everything. All her friends that she damn was riding with, all of her council, dead, dude. All right. Everything but Tyrion. All right. Hold on one second.
Now he's calling me a child.
I believe he's calling all of us children.
Yeah, and it was to a point where they had a damn standoff here. If y'all go back to look at this. All right. Where he had to personally ask her, all right, yeah, am I your prisoner? And she was like, not yet. All right. Yeah, because when he first got there, they were not getting along. Luckily, Tyrion knows Jon Snow. All right. Has a good rapport with him. He put these detailed things inside of the Raven, which made Jon laugh. All right. He said all cripples, or he said all dwarfs are bastards in their parents' eyes. That was something he shared with him in first season. All right. And what he was trying to tell Jon is to understand and know what you are and embrace it, and people can't use it against you. All right. Yes, indeed. That's the message that he was trying to kick to him. All right. Anyhow, as I said, the security and safety that he felt amongst Tyrion is what made him feel like it was okay to come down there to Dragonstone. The Northerners all believed it was a trap, of course. All right. And when he came down there, he ended up fighting back and forth with her because his original cases for coming down there is he wanted her to fight an army that she could not see, that could have been a complete pile of mumbo jumbo. You talking about fighting the army of the dead man. And she has an actual war with Cersei that she was involved in right then and there. All right. Yeah, so that's very important. All right. This is why she stepped back from the cases of the clever plans of surrounding King's Landing with the Darnish army and with the Tyrell army surround King's Landing. All right. Cersei and them were a step ahead of them because they knew that the war was going to go ahead to take place. All right. The person, Jamie said this here talking to her, the person who controls the food and the grain and all this other shit. All right. Yeah, they'll be the ones who survive the war. That's why they went, to the Tyrell spot here. They went over here to what is that shit called? Um, High Tower, High something here. All right. The same lands that they gave the brand at the end of the joint. All right. Yeah. Because that's where all the food and stuff like that was reproduced at, man. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. Even for Jamie telling Sir Brand to go in. All right. He said, I'm not, I'm not licensed in telling farmers or showing farmers how to give up their grain. All right. Yeah. So even after they jacked the castle for all that gold and everything else, yeah, they had to go from farmer to farmer. All right. Snatching up grain. All right. Corn, any other food that you had there, and taking all of that as well. All right. Yes, indeed. Yeah. That's why it was necessary for her to come through there and attack, man. And that was a wonderful damn attack because she leveled out the damn Lannister army, man. All right. That was probably, all right, up until that battle that I seen last week here, the battle with the Gutlet. All right. That battle of, goddamn it, when the Lannisters fought Daenerys for the first time. All right. No, that was just a damn slaughter. All right. That's all it was. And people trying to hold on for dear life, man. All right. Big ass dragon overhead, setting everything on fire. You got Dothrakians. All right. The best fighters that you have there, period. All right. Jumping off of horses. Some of them shooting arrows off of horses. All right. Yes. Jumping off of horses. They got that little blade. They got it's like shaped like a J or what have you. All right. And they tan your ass up with it. All right. Some of them got two of them. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. And as Jamie said, he said, killing our men were like sport for them. All right. Yes. They had and she had 100,000 of them. All right. Yeah. What are you going to do? All right. Yeah. To whatever you have and whatever you think you're going to borrow from what she said, from the Iron Bank here. All right. Yeah. She borrowed the gold. She borrowed that military or what have you from the Iron Bank. All right. And Daenerys destroyed these niggas within seconds, man. All right. I'm talking about bricks and debris falling on top of your head. All right. Niggas is over here running for their damn life. All right. You ain't threw a punch. Ain't an arrow got shot off yet. And there's already niggas in gold running. All right. You know what time it is. All right. Yeah. So that there was some straight gangster stuff there. Yeah. You knew it was over. All right. You damn sure knew it was over. Now, this is when he went over here to at least to pledge to Rhaenyra. And they consistently keep showing this here. All right. You seen everybody in the room bend the knee. All right. And it's like, all right, we're at this point where y'all can take and swing the dialogue away from that. They're married and every damn thing else. All right. Right. But that was one of the last scenes we seen from the final season from the final episode of season 2. All right. When she went down there to the Riverlands to see that Daemon had to united everybody there that lived in the Riverlands, and they were getting prepared for war. Not only that, he was helping to reconstruct different parts of Harrenhal that had been destroyed. They were in there working. All right. Yeah, so it went two sides, two ways here. Even to the point of the messenger that they had come down. All right. Yeah, he was on some old coup bullshit here. All right. That's when you heard Daemon said, man, I ain't never seen you for a turncoat. All right. He was like, man, I understand Rhaenyra's so-and-so, and I will never bend the knee for a high tower. I will never serve a so-and-so. All right. But at this time, man, he said, we need a man. All right. Yeah. And you seen Daemon kind of look at him and walk off. You already do have one, nigga. All right. Just not by name. All right. Because if you're talking about the fear of punishment and consequence and who you going to catch hell from, you're not worried about necessarily about Rhaenyra's dragon or her circumstances of her sword, you're damn sure worried about Damon's and his goddamn sword. All right. So that's why I said that's her husband. No, that man is already there. All right. Yeah, if you got any extra plans as far as stuff. All right. This is why I said for the cases of letting her do what she needed to do, you seen Jace order the Kingsguard to lock her in the damn room and get himself murdered. Everybody in here is losing shit every battle that comes here. All right. And as I told you, the story is built on for at the end, ain't a dragon standing, dude. Nothing. Everything has been turned into rubble. All right. Now, this is the excuse me. All right, Darren Targaryen. For some people that didn't catch him, because in this episode where they showed him, I don't think he ever spoke, dude. He didn't speak at all. All right, but they do show him. All right, they show him about right here. All right, you're getting ready to see somebody, a younger person with all green on. All right, that's him. All right, this is Darren Targaryen right there on your screen. All right, for some people that didn't catch it, they don't yell out to announce it to you. But that's his big ass dragon you see starting with. All right. That's his dragon. All right. And he also kind of walks out for y'all to see him too. All right. But that's him. That's Alicent's last son right there.
What is the weather to be today, Bold John?
Yep. And for Bold John, not Bold John here, that's his kinsman. This is right before they're actually able to see that guy who smells like dog shit. All right. Yeah, that's why he said the weather is piss and shit. All right. No, because they had to get this message from this stinking ass dude that was over there. All right. That's why I said after he read the letter, which in the letter, the letter says it's from Aemon, but Alicent actually wrote it. And the letter just consists to tell them to stay where they're at until they hear word. All right. And she was doing that. So when Rhaenyra came in there, all right, her son and this army would not be extra pieces of casual. All right. Because they understand that anything in here that came to fight is going to be put to the sword. So she's trying to protect her family. And I think they're coming with about 14,000 soldiers. All right. Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's gonna put your ass to the sword. And now that Jace is dead, yeah, you're about to see another side. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that part there where y'all looking and you expecting her to give a damn here. All right, big pieces of that is gone. All right. Now, as I told y'all to recognize, her and Daemon do have some kids together. All right. And one of them is actually going to end up ruling with her going ahead and getting caught by damn Aegon. All right. And him being poisoned. All right. Yes, indeed. What is this here? Okay. This is this shit I was talking about here with Sir Alistair earlier, man, with his little dirty ass. All right. This is right after they killed Jon Snow. All right. You know his man's is pissed off. All right. But for the cases of the story for Game of Thrones, when Jon Snow dies, his body, like his mind, his body, it goes into the wolf. All right. For the story period of Game of Thrones, that all the Starks are supposed to be wargs. All right, all of them. That's some folks that can see through like a bird or any one of these animals' mind or whatever. They're all supposed to be wargs. All right, and that explains. So up until the Red Priestess brings him back, he's living through the dog in the story. All right, yeah, just maybe something you guys don't know here. All right, now, and even explaining Robb Stark's incredible behavior on the battlefield, and all right, yeah. What have you, when it comes to his dire wolf, because his wolf is something, of course, that he took to battle with him. Yeah, he wasn't killed during a time of battle. He got murdered during backstabbing and betrayal. All right, Robb Stark thought he can use certain parts of honor and loyalty when it retained to him. All right. This is why you got to value your oaths, nigga. All right. You dealing with Lord Frey, who already felt disrespected here by your damn family. All right. Yeah. Then you go after making a deal for the bridge. You go and marry this foreigner anyway to publicly disrespect him in front of the realm again. All right. I do not go ahead to support you killing people at your own dinner table. All right. That's the most low down shit ever. But I also do understand here in the cases why he felt like he didn't want to fool with the Starks. All right. Knowing that the reward is that he was going to be Lord of the Riverlands. Y'all didn't have enough soldiers to fight with at that time. And to add with that, all right, Roose Bolton was calculatedly moving. All right. So Tywin Lannister did more with a damn ink pen. All right. Than having 10, 20,000 soldiers. He made a few promises. All right. God damn it. Had some agreements there upon that. And then that was that. You kill about 12 people at dinner, as he said, over 10,000 in battle. All right. Yep. As he said, to end the war, to protect the family. All right. Yes, indeed. He said, you want to write a song for the dead Starks? Write one. All right. He said, I'm here a little bit longer. Huh? Right. That nigga didn't give a shit. All right. Hey, it might have sounded cold with his calculations, but he was correct. All right. He was right. All right. Shit. And 80% of what Tywin Lannister did was a bluff, was off of his reputation alone. As they started to look deeper into the Lannisters, they ain't had no money like that. They owed the Iron Bank all this bread. All right. And that was a big part of the joint alliance with the Tyrell so that they can help clean up some of this damn debt. All right. That the Lannisters had. All right. That was part of it. All right. This is why Tywin didn't go forth to take an army to do all this. No, because he understood in the cases of politics, it is better to be connected into the cases of marriage, nigga. Now my problems become your problems. All right. There we go. All right. And he aligned himself, his family, with the richest family in Westeros. All right. That was the political move. This is why he told Cersei to secure the other side at Highgarden, nigga. All right. With Lannister. I know he's, what's his name? With whatever the hell his name is, dude. All right. Queen Marjorie's brother here. Something Tyrell. All right. She said to secure that with him. All right. That way, you know, you got all the money tied up around the board here, Hoss. Everything's tied up. You good to go. All right. She was like, come on, father, don't make me do it again. You're like, say, not another word. All right. Yeah, you guys have cursed the Lannister name for far too long. All right. Yeah. But she did win the last argument against him because she understood that, all right, she was going to get her ass sent away so that Tywin can work with Tomlin or manipulate Tomlin, all right, without her stinking ass sitting there in the way. All right. That was the strategy there. Yeah, to get Cersei the hell out of here. Also, to end them rumors in between Jamie and her. All right. Yeah, if both of y'all asses ain't in the same damn vicinity, I have less of any possibilities of having to worry about that, dude. All right. Yeah. So he had a good plan politically to solve all his problems. All right. Yes, indeed. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't more about his family's legacy for Tywin as much as it was about his own personal legacy, dude. All right. This is why he couldn't sit himself to the side here. All right. And respect all the good talent that he had in Tyrion. All right. Because truth be told, Tyrion was the most like Tywin Lannister out of all his kids. All right. The only thing that Tyrion was missing there was that lack of empathy that Tywin has in the brutality side. All right. But to politically know what your opposition is going to do and understanding the board. All right. Yeah. Shit. Tywin had that shit on lock, and so did Tyrion. This is why he served as Hand of the King. All right. No, set with 2 or 3 times as the show goes on there. All right. You can say that for the terms of Joffrey. All right. He served underneath of Daenerys, of course. And at the end, you see him serving up underneath of Brandon Stark. All right. Yeah. Okay. But that's what he did. He was a good Hand of the King. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can put him there. All right. You wouldn't be wrong. But this scene in here that I have on the screen, all right, as I told you, that's why I mentioned that warg thing. All right. Was showing you that, all right, Ghost needed to eat. All right. He said, well, why don't you go get some food and bring it back to him? All right. That's not how I work with him. In other words, he hunts his own food. All right. And we'll come back and get him afterwards. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm going to go take him out. All right. So as he goes in there to go take Ghost out here, Halls. All right. He said, oh, yeah, we'll be in the hall. Harry back. I think this is one of the deleted scenes, family. All right. Hold on.
Shut up forever. It's not good for him.
Maybe you should take him through the tunnel. Back north where he belongs. Castle Black's no place for a direwolf.
Do you want to tell him that?
We're meeting in the mess hall when you're done with your friend.
Yeah. And he also, for any smart sense, if y'all are capable of killing Jon Snow, then I know you're capable of killing his followers. All right. That was also for his protection too, as well. These buster ass niggas. Ghost protected Samwell Tarly when Jon Snow was away. Remember, he was over there working with the wildlings. All right. And when his woman was assaulted, all right, and he needed backup, he didn't have any damn reinforcements like that. All right. Ghost came out of nowhere. All right. So that damn wolf was always on time, man, as far as the show was concerned. All right. He was still around all the way down to the end. All right. Shit. And some people lost their wolves. All right. For Arya Stark, she was able to see her wolf one last time, but the wolf had a completely different life. That wolf that already had a litter. All right. The whole 9 was big as hell. All right. And by her smacking the wolf on the nose and telling her to get out of here, she saved that wolf's life. But it also got Sansa's wolf killed. All right. Yeah, that shit crazy. Fuck around with King Joffrey's the Prince Joffrey's little punk ass here. All right. And he was lying because he was trying to abuse the butcher's boy. All right. Cutting into his face and all that. Yeah. And Arya took her sword out here and cut his stinking ass. All right. Right. And because of that, Sir Gregor Clegane had to go chop down the butcher boy, man. He killed him for no damn reason. Yeah, Joffrey used to cause a lot of shit, man, and cause the circumstances of that wolf to get put down. All right, right, a wolf that had nothing to do with it, man. All right, I think the wolf's name, the other name, one she had, her name was Miriam or something like that. All right, but I think the wolf had bit Joffrey or something. All right, because he had tried to take his sword out and attack her. All right, and when he did holding the sword out, that wolf came out of nowhere, dude. All right, you ain't about to cut nobody, nigga. All right, no, you ain't. All right, yes, indeed. That was just, to me, it was just a smart animal there. All right, very intelligent, even understanding. Look, man, get your ass out of here. All right, yeah, you got to roll. All right. Now, let me go ahead and look at this family tree. This woman is sitting here writing all of this stuff out here from House of Dragons. This will be the last piece that I go over with this. And I want to say thank y'all all for the morning program here. All right. Don't forget to smash the like button, share this video here. All right. I'm hoping to get some of my stuff jumping off. Some of these things in here I haven't even. I ain't received my first piece of love in here from this here, but we're going to keep it on. All right. No, hopefully things will roll through here in some cases. If y'all do support the channel, make sure that you subscribe All right. Share this video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. Yes, and then yes, indeed. Go ahead and do that, and make sure that you guys also excuse me here, hit that bell notifications when we go in here to go live. You know that we're in here all the time. Here. For me, it works here. All right. I make sure anytime I get started. All right. But hold on. Here we go.
Family tree as we know it from the books in its entirety.
We start with Aenar, the exiled Targaryen. 2 children, Gaemon and Daenerys, the dreamer. They get married. They have a son, Aegon, a daughter, Elena, and another unnamed daughter. Aegon and Elena marry. They have 2 sons, Maegor and Aerys. Maegor dies, but it's okay, in the words of Dr. Susie Edge, because he had a brother. Aerys has 3 sons, Aelix, Baelon, Damion. Damion had a son named Aerion. Aerion marries Lady Valena of House Velaryon. They had 3 children, Visenya, Aegon, and Rhaenys. When the conquest happens, Aegon is already married to both Visenya and Rhaenys. He has a son with Rhaenys, Aenys, and he has a son with Visenya, Maegor. If we're being thorough, Aerion also had a rumoured illegitimate son named Orys Baratheon. Aenys married Lady Alyssa of House Velaryon. They have 6 children.
Much time to try to find out Game of Thrones. When you get to Megar the Cruel and the first Aemon and all right, the Black Dread. All right, I believe that's what his name was. All right, all of this shit. All right, it's too much. It goes too far for me, man. All this to try to create a fake ass world because your real one exists of damn plagues and mud and filth. All right, and people dying off. All right, that's what they love about this mystical world, dragon shit. All right. You can avoid actual history. All right. I look into it anyway, dude. I do, man. But I don't never forget the underlying message here. All right. I watch Game of Thrones and I think the same thing I do for any other stuff in here, Halls. All right. Hey, thank the Lord. We finally got a black lord. All right. Yes. And at the end, he gets punished, everybody. All right. He gets punished for doing the logical thing of taking a crazy ass Joker and getting him out of the king seat so that the war can stop. That's what he's punished for. And he don't do that directly. He just doesn't decline to go ahead to stop it from happening, which he's supposed to in these cases. But I say here, Halls, war makes people do some crazy things.
Aegon, Viserys, Jaehaerys, Alysanne, and Princess Vela. After Aenys dies, Alyssa does get married again to Lord Rhaegar Baratheon. They have 2 children together, Boromund, Jocelyn. When Aenys dies, instead of the crown going to one of his children, his half-brother Maegor steals the throne. When Maegor dies, unexpectedly, the crown reverts back to Aenys' children. Rhaena and Aegon marry. They have twin daughters, Aerea and Rhaella. Because of Maegor, Aegon and Viserys, they're dead. Jaehaerys becomes the new king. He secretly marries Alysanne. She becomes queen, and they have 13 children. Aegon, Daenerys, Aemon, Baelon, Alyssa, Maegel, Vaegon, Daela, Sarah, Visera, Gaemon, Valerion, and Princess Gale. Now remember this guy, Prince Aemon. He marries, bear with me, Jocelyn of House Baratheon. Now, Aemon and Jocelyn have 1 child, a daughter, Princess Rhaenys. She marries Lord Corlys of House Velaryon. Baelon and Alyssa get married, and they have 2 surviving sons, Viserys and Daemon. Princess Daela marries Roderick of House Arryn. They have 1 daughter, Aemma Arryn. Aemma and Viserys are first cousins. That doesn't stop them from getting married. And they have 1 surviving child together, the Princess Rhaenyra. In the meantime, Daemon married Rhea Royce. Corlys and Rhaenys have 2 children, Laena and Laenor. Now, this is going to start getting a bit messy, but I promise, bear with me. So after the death of Rhea Royce, Lena marries Damon. And they have 2 daughters, twins, Rhaena and Bela. After Emma dies, Viserys marries Alicent Hightower, and they have 4 children, Aegon, Helena, Aemond, Daron. Rhaenyra's first marriage is to Laenor Velaryon. They had Jacaerys, Lucerys, and Joffrey. Then Daemon and Rhaenyra get married. They have 2 more sons.
Yeah, and this is how we kind of get sped up here now. And let me help y'all out. Them 2 kids that she's talking about, all right, up there. All right, remember, even as the show told you, yeah, the Valerian dude ain't never touch Rhaenyra. He ain't never touch her. All right, so those are strong kids. They may have those last names. All right, but their hair is black, dude. When they father left, all right, it was like, is Mr. Strong my father? All right, that's how bad your mother draws is in the street. All right, you walk around with another nigga last name. All right, so and so your father. All right, you don't look. All right, Allison called it out, man. Maybe we'll get another one here that looks like you. All right, right. Pointing to the circumstances that there's no family resemblance. All right, yeah, these are bastards. All right.
Aegon, Viserys. Aegon and Helena get married. They have Jaehaerys, Jaehaera, and a third, Maelor. After the war, and this is a major spoiler, Aegon is Aegon III. First, Aegon did marry Jaehaera. He gets married again to Lady Daenerys of House Velaryon, and they have 5 children: Daron, Baelor, Dana, Rhaena, Elena. Daron succeeds his father, but dies childless. But it's okay, because he had a brother. But then Baelor the Blessed, he dies childless. And they don't want to give the crown to Dana, Rhaena, or Elena. The crown reverts to Uncle Viserys, who becomes Viserys II. He himself is married to Lara, the cat lady, Rogar. They have 3 children: Aegon, Daenerys, and Aemon. Aegon becomes Aegon IV, the Unworthy. As per Targaryen tradition, he marries Daenerys. Now, Aegon IV had multiple mistresses and illegitimate children, who he later legitimized on his deathbed and caused a whole thing. He had a son named Daron and a daughter named Daenerys. Daenerys marries Maron of House Martell, and Daron marries Maron's sister, Mariah Martell. I just want to go back to Dana for a second. She had an illegitimate son named Daemon Blackfyre. It's believed he is the son of Aegon. When the first Blackfyre rebellion happens, Daemon challenges Daron for the crown. Daron wins, though. He and Mariah have 4 sons: Baelor, Aerys, Rhaegal, and Maker. Baelor married Lady Jenna of House Dondarrion. They had 2 children, Prince Valar and Prince Mataris. Baelor was expected to be Daron's heir, but long story short, Maker becomes the new king. It's a whole situation. Rhaegal married Lady Alice of House Arryn. They had 3 children, Aelor, Aelora, and Daenora. Maker married Lady Diana of House Dane, and they had 6 children: Daron, Aerion, Aemon, Daela, Aegon, and the Princess Rhae. Daron married Lady Kira of Tyrosh. They have a daughter, Vela. Aerion married Lady Daenora. They had a son, Maegor. Aegon married Lady Betha of House Blackwood. They had 5 children: Prince Duncan.
Look, man, let me tell you something, man.
Shara.
After a certain point, I don't give a rat's ass. All right, it doesn't even matter. All right, it don't, y'all. None of it does. All this for this fake ass reality that y'all got with people with purple eyes and shit. All right, and white hair. All right. No, the show was great, man. I like Game of Thrones. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. But some of this shit too much for me. I'll be back in a minute. Peace. All right. All that shit.